Hey, listen up, y'all. Ever heard someone say patience is a virtue? Well, that person must have never tried climbing up the ladder of success. I mean, come on, we live in a world where everything is instant. Instant coffee, instant messages, instant gratification, but success? Nah, that ain't instant. That's a slow grind, baby. Now don't get it twisted. I ain't saying you should sit back and chill while the world passes you by. Nah, that ain't it. But you gotta understand that the key to this game is patience and prudence. It's about knowing when to push and when to hold back. It's about understanding that every move you make is a step on the ladder. And let me tell you something. Ain't no escalators in this building, it's all stairs, baby. We live in a society that's all about the hustle. The grind never stops, right? We're told to keep pushing, keep striving, keep chasing. But let me ask you this, what happens when you're running so fast you don't even know where you're going? You end up tripping over your own feet, that's what. See, patience is about more than just waiting. It's about understanding the rhythm of the game. It's about knowing when to make your move and when to wait for the right opportunity. It's about understanding that sometimes the best move is to not move at all. And prudence? That's about being smart with your moves. It's about understanding the game and knowing how to play it. It's about making the right decisions and knowing when to take risks. It's about being able to look at the big picture and make decisions that will benefit you in the long run. So before you all start running up that ladder, maybe take a minute to figure out if you even on the right damn wall. Because let me tell you something, ain't nothing worse than getting to the top and realizing you climbed the wrong building. Now that's a real kick in the teeth, ain't it? So you've heard the tortoise beat the hare, right? But let's keep it 100. Ain't nobody got time for that. Now don't get me wrong. I ain't saying rush through life like a bull in a china shop, but also don't be that guy who's always taking it too chill, you know, the one who's always saying, I'm on my way, but never actually shows up. You see, life's a bit like a game of chess. You gotta be patient, but at the same time, you gotta make your moves. You can't just sit there, moving your pawn one square at a time, hoping to somehow become a queen. That ain't how it works, my man. Now let's bring in some real-world examples. Remember when Kanye said, I'ma let you finish to Taylor Swift? That's the kind of patience we don't need. That's just being passive-aggressive. And ain't nobody got time for that either. But then, on the flip side, we have Jay-Z, who started off in the Marcy Projects. And look at him now. That brother didn't just sit around waiting for things to happen. He hustled, he worked, and he built an empire. That's patience with progress, my friends. You see, it's about finding that sweet spot between being a hare and a tortoise. You don't want to be rushing through life, missing out on all the good stuff, but you also don't want to be stuck in the same spot, watching everyone else pass you by. So the next time you find yourself thinking, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll start on Monday, remember this, tomorrow ain't promised, and Monday's just another day. Start now, make your move, be patient, but be progressive. Don't just wait for things to happen, make them happen. And always remember, it ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Remember, slow and steady might win the race, but don't be the fool who's too slow to even make it to the finish line. Now let's talk about discretion, fam, because not everyone needs to know your every move. You see, we live in a world where everybody's out here flexing on the gram, stunting on Snapchat and tweeting their every thought like they're Kanye or something. But let me tell you something, G, that ain't the way to climb to the top. Nah, the real winners, they move in silence. They keep their cards close to their chest. You ever heard the saying, loose lips sink ships? Well, it's facts. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you're out here, grinding, hustling, putting in work. You're on your way to the top, right? But you can't help but brag about it. You're telling every Tom, Dick, and Harry about your plans, your moves, your strategies. Next thing you know, one of them starts hating, starts trying to sabotage your success, starts spreading rumors, or worse, stealing your ideas. Before you know it, your ship's sinking faster than the Titanic, all because you couldn't keep your mouth shut. Now, I ain't saying you gotta be a secret agent or nothing, but there's a difference between sharing your success and giving away your game plan. You gotta have some discretion, some prudence. You gotta know when to speak and when to stay silent. Look at Jay-Z. The man's a billionaire, but you don't see him out here broadcasting his every move. Nah, he's discreet, he's strategic, he's smart, and that's why he's on top. That's why he's a king. So the next time you're about to post that flashy pic or tweet that big announcement, Think twice. Ask yourself, does this serve me or does it serve my ego? Because at the end of the day, discretion is the better part of valor. It's the key to mastering your ascent. In the words of the great Jay-Z, I move in silence, let success make the noise. All right, we talked about patience, we talked about discretion, but what about checking yourself? Now, I ain't just talking about brushing your teeth and combing your hair, nah. This ain't about your physical appearance, it's about what's going on upstairs in that noggin of yours. Think about it. You're on this journey, right? You're hustling, grinding, trying to make it to the top. But what happens if you ain't keeping tabs on yourself? You might be climbing, but you're not realizing that you're on the wrong dang ladder. Let's say you're trying to be the next Elon Musk, but you're spending all your time and energy learning to cook. Now don't get me wrong, being able to whip up a good meal is dope, but is it going to get you to Mars? Nah, I don't think so. That's why you got to check yourself. You got to make sure that what you're doing is actually helping you get where you want to go. I mean, imagine if LeBron James decided to spend his time learning ballet instead of practicing his jump shot. He'd be pirouetting all over the court, but would he be sinking buckets? Hell no. So how do you check yourself? It's about being self-aware. You got to step back, look at what you're doing, and ask yourself, is this really getting me closer to my goal? If the answer is no, then you got to adjust. Switch lanes, change tactics, do whatever you got to do. And don't be afraid to be brutal with yourself. This ain't the time to be sugarcoating things. If you're messing up, you got to admit it. Own up to your mistakes, learn from them, and move forward. You ain't going to get anywhere by fooling yourself. So remember, before you run up that ladder, make sure you ain't stepping on any slippery rungs. Be real with yourself, be honest, and don't be afraid to change course if you need to. That's the key to mastering your ascent. It ain't easy, but trust me, it's worth it. All right, we've covered a lot today, so let's bring it home. Let's take it from the top, folks. We've been talking about the art of the ascent, right? Now, I ain't talking about climbing Mount Everest or some other icy peak. Nah, we're talking about the climb up in life, that grind, that hustle. And you know what's key to that? Patience, prudence, and discretion. Patience, my G. It ain't about being slow or lazy, but about knowing when to hold back, when to let things simmer. You can't rush greatness, you gotta let it marinate, let it cook up real nice. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was Jay-Z's empire. Next up, prudence. This ain't about being a scaredy cat. Nah, it's about being wise, knowing when to take a risk and when to play it safe. It's like knowing when to go all in during a poker game. You gotta know your hand before you play your cards, you feel me? And then we got discretion. This ain't about being sneaky or underhanded. It's about knowing when to speak up and when to shut up. You don't want to be that guy who can't keep his mouth shut, That's how you end up with more enemies than friends. Lastly, it's all about self-evaluation. You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You got to look in the mirror and ask, am I moving with purpose or just moving to be moving? If you ain't moving with purpose, then you're just wasting your time, bro. So that's the lowdown. If you're digging what I'm laying down, don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let's keep this conversation going, you heard? And remember, if you ain't first, you're last. So make sure you're moving with purpose, not just moving to be moving. Peace out, y'all. And don't forget to check out the other videos on the page.